Watches Real Madrid on TV and plays PlayStation. Now, the official job that I have is...
What's the job you get paid to do?
That's the one.
Okay, that's the most important.
But the title is basically to handle his communications needs, prepare his agenda, prepare the strategy, communication strategy, together with his commercial strategy with Carlos Costa, and just go around the world with him, making sure he does the right things with the right people.
So you're the intermediary between Rafa himself and the world's media, which, I mean, global sport, clearly a lot of media here at this tournament and following the championships around the world.
Yeah, Rafa's a celebrity. He's now more than just a sports personality, so there's a lot of media requests and there's a lot of media interest, and we also have our own media strategy, so I just have to put it in place. He doesn't care much about it, he cares about Real Madrid.
Yeah. And you've been working with him 6-7 years, but you've known him a long time.
Yeah, I've worked with him, paid by him for this Real Madrid thing that I say for 6 years now. And then I used to work with him when I was the 18B. That's when I met him when he was 15. So yeah, I've been knowing him for a little while.
So a big match tonight. Rafa's playing Tsonga, and I was kind of winner takes all tonight.
I was completely wrong yesterday. Remember, I said
you were completely wrong.
It's not going to win.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, it's a big match, and Tsonga is always a very, very difficult play for Rafa because it's a big serve. So we don't know, but he needs to win. Otherwise, we go home.
And how's he feeling?
He's feeling good. I've seen him just practice on the court, and he's always very motivated to do well for this kind of tournament. So.
Now, I know everybody would love to have seen Rafa tonight, but I don't think you understand it. It's not fair to ask him to come up just before he's got a big match. So, and also the tax man won't allow him to come up to this week. What's the deal with that?
No, they would allow him because he's playing, so they take the tax out of him anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's this new rule that, as you know, in the UK, whenever you, and also the US, whenever you do something, you play a match, you do your activity, they take your tax out of that day of all your contracts. So it's kind of a difficult situation. He's not playing Queens because of that.
Yeah.
That's what friends wanted to say, but obviously something doesn't help. So it's like if you go to work today and you have to pay to work. It's the other way around. You go to work, they pay you to work. It's a crazy situation.
Now, Rafa's got a lot of commercial partners that you work very closely with. We see him not wearing many clothes for Armani. We see him wearing some clothes for Bacardi. Tell us, why did you get involved with the Champions Drink Responsibly campaign? Why was that important for Rafa to be involved with that?
Well, first of all, Rafa is not a heavy drinker. Let's put it. I mean, he doesn't drink alcohol normally. So he would have never got involved with an alcohol company promoting alcohol. But the way Bacardi came to Chris presented the opportunity to do something that is a campaign for responsibly drinking, it's a social campaign, then immediately that attracted him. And thanks to Chris, he used to do this with other sportsmen. Rafa thought it was an interesting thing to do. It has in Spain there's a lot of wrong type of drinking. So I think it was also a way to help society and to make people understand, especially young people, that you have to drink responsibly.
Because he's a role model and he's got a lot of fans around the world. He's got 89 million people on Facebook following him every day.
So it's a way to help in the way society likes, just like party.
I was going to ask you about the whole Facebook and Twitter thing, because as sort of Team Rafa, you got on board with that quite quickly. You weren't late into that, and that means that you've got a huge following. Why was it important to have that connection with the fans?
Because it's a direct way to connect with them. You don't have any filters. Before you always depended on what the media wanted to write. Now with Facebook, with Twitter especially also, you can do and you can say whatever you want to say, and it's you saying it. You don't have to go through any filters. We also used to blog when there was no Facebook and there was no Twitter. We used to blog in newspapers, so it was him directly. So when we had some issues, like this summer, when some media came out with stories saying that he was surprised with Tony Nadal, it's very easy. You just say, this is not true, my relationship, whatever you want to say, it's done. It's a direct way to communicate with your fans.
I think
So that's
what's nice about it is the fans are getting the information at the same time as the media, which is quite nice. There's no delay. You're not reading it the following day in the newspaper.
There's no filter.
Yeah.
So it's what
real.
you say is there.
Yeah.
You know, you can tell a journalist whatever you want to say. Like Le Monde, for example, you know, then you go to filters and they say whatever they want to say. This way you're straight.
So what's the future for Rafa in the next couple of weeks and then a couple of years? Got Davis Cup coming up.
I'm sure the fans really know very well, but yeah, Davis Cup final is in a couple of weeks. Sorry, next week. Yeah. So that's a big thing, and then just get ready for the season because he's already leaving to Abu Dhabi on the 26th of December. So it's just Christmas and the day after he's traveling to Abu Dhabi, and
It's not really an end of season break.
no, not this year. So gotta get ready. And,
What about the future? What keeps him motivated?
well, a lot of people say about the #1 ranking, and really that's not his goal. His goal is to win tournaments. And, he's never won this tournament. He would love to win this tournament. He would love to win more Grand Slams. And also, he's a player that everywhere he goes, he wants to win. So his motivation is to keep improving and keep winning. So if he can win the Australian Open for the second time, that would be something amazing. But that's what keeps him, there, just to compete and be able to win.
And will he see the Australian tournament as the start of a new year, a fresh start, a new chapter? Because by his standards, he's had a great year. But I suppose the success of other players, he might see it as not being
one
the best
other
year.
player.
Yeah, one other player. Who lost last night to a Spaniard. Well, enough from me. Any questions from anybody here? For Benito?
Any chance to come back to Greece? Yeah, after
Not in the next 2 years.
After that?
Not in the next 3 years. He'll have a Wonderland.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not that he's not playing in he's not playing in Queens, but he's playing in Wimbledon. So
It's harder for you to get tickets to
Wimbledon.
Yeah, Greece is such a nice tournament. So.
It is. He loves going. I've been here in Germany for many years now, so he wants to go back to Germany. I've played it since 2008. It's a chance to give other fans also.
Yeah, no.
It's not because of the tax situation. It doesn't help, it's not because of that. Right? Will I be in the Olympics? He will be in the Olympics also, yeah.
Is he going to stay in the Olympic Village?
Yes.
Even though it's really far?
Yeah, we'll stay in the Olympic Village.
So you won't stay in your Wimbledon house that you normally have?
Not during the Olympics.
Not doing it.
We'll go to the Olympic Village. Yeah, he wants to be with the, the whole thing. Probably it's last Olympics, so.
Is he carrying the flag?
We don't know yet. Maybe, I don't know.
What was your question?
When you go to Wimbledon, is Rafa going to have a different recipe to cook for you, rather
No,
than?
because he's such a bad cook.
That's not what we put in the Waitrose article.
I know, but we're tired of eating the same
Pasta
thing every
and
day.
gambas.
Yeah, every single day. No, we tend to get out. I do my salads, I do my thing.
And I know Benito, he's telling the truth when he says about the PlayStation thing, because we had a meeting with him in London in the summer during Wimbledon, and during the meeting his phone rang and he said he only answers the phone if it's Rafa, everybody else he just cancels it. So he said, hello, yes. Yeah, he wanted him to buy some PlayStation games and put them in a taxi and send them by the controller.
Yeah, the controller had to go and buy the controller.
Yeah, so he had to go to Lily White's, buy a PlayStation controller, put it in a taxi and send it to the Wimbledon house, which was...
True.
Your job is never ending.
That's my job. Real Madrid and PlayStation.
Andy Murray's got the same problem.
Yeah. It's to cure the boredom on the tour. Any other questions?
Andy's a nice guy. We get along very well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's-
Very nice guy. He's got so-so image here, but he's a really nice guy.
A lot of pressure from British press, which is
Really
bad.
nice guy. Very funny.
Well, Benito, thank you very much for spending your time. I know it's a busy time for you before the start of the match. So
Thanks for having me.
let's give him a round of applause.